One of the most significant traffic infrastructure projects, the Belgrade bypass from Batajnica via Dobanovci and Ostružnica to Bubanj Potok, has a strategic importance, not just for our capital, but for all the people who transit our country. Sector 6 of the bypass from the tunnel Straževica to the interchange Bubanj Potok was completed and released to traffic on June 28, 2023. So just before the summer tourist season, the drivers whose final destination is not Belgrade were able to drive on a full motorway profile with 6 traffic lanes instead of the former entrance to Belgrade via a segment of the motorway Belgrade-Niš. Their driving on the motorway is now significantly faster, safer and more comfortable. And the surrounding settlements at the foot of Avala have gained a quick access to the motorway and a better connection with the city center. At the same time, the traffic through the city center has been relieved. The section is designed for a speed of 130 km per hour. It has 2 lanes for each direction, 3.75 meters wide, a 3-meter emergency lane, a 4-meter median strip, edge lines 2 times 0.5 meters per direction, and shoulders 1.5 meters wide on each side. The construction of the Belgrade bypass has connected the leg of Corridor 10B, motorway route E75, border with Hungary, Horgoš-Novi Sad-Belgrade, with Corridor 10, then the motorway route E70, border with Hungary, Batrovci-Belgrade, first B category state road number 26 and route 4, as well as the motorway route E763, motorway Miloš Veliki, Belgrade, Požega, Boljare, border with Montenegro. And again with the segment of Corridor 10, the motorway route E75, Belgrade, Niš, Preševo, border with North Macedonia. The government of the Republic of Serbia, the Line Ministry, Public Enterprise Roads of Serbia with the contractor the Chinese company Power China and the main subcontractor the Azerbaijani company Azvirt implemented this project. Both sides of the motorway, full profile, were constructed on Sector 6 of the Belgrade bypass, from the tunnel Straževica to the interchange Bubanj Potok, including the interchange, in the length of 9.74 kilometers. Tunnel Beli Potok was constructed within Sector 6, with 2 tunnel tubes in a total length of 720 meters. Then the interchange Avala, which represents a link between the motorway and the old Avala road, and the interchange Bubanj Potok, constructed between the former toll station Bubanj Potok and the exit for the ring road. Interchange Bubanj Potok is the largest traffic node in the Republic of Serbia, with 8 bridge structures or 13 interchange lengths in total. The construction work on the Sector 6 roadway commenced on September 10, 2019. The construction was preceded by the cleaning of wild landfills created in the previous period. At the interchange Bubanj Potok alone, the contractor found approximately 5,000 meters cube of rubble and waste, which was duly removed to the city landfill in Vinča. During the works, over 15,000 meters square of structures made of solid and fragile materials, as well as more than 25,000 meters square of the existing roadway, were demolished. At the height of season, more than 600 workers and around 360 machinery units were present on the construction site. After cleaning the terrain, followed by the removal of the surface humus layer, the replacement of the weak bearing layer and the compacting of the terrain surface, the works were continued by installing the geotextile and filling sand in layers about 30 cm thick. A closed drainage system was constructed along the entire motorway route by installing sewerage on the entire route length. The pavement of the main roadway consists of reinforced 0.63 mm crushed stone aggregate subgrade, 50 cm thick. Then the sub-base course made of 0.31 mm crushed stone aggregate, 20 cm thick, as well as the 20 cm thick 0.31 mm stone aggregate, stabilized with the hydraulic binder. There are also 2 bituminous wearing courses, each 8 cm thick, and a wearing course made of SMA 11S asphalts, 4 cm thick. At the beginning of the route, at the exit from the tunnel Straževica, an overpass was constructed, crossing the motorway and connecting the Rakovica road with the ring road, which was interrupted by the motorway construction. The reconstruction of a segment of the ring road was performed from the tunnel Straževica, where the new motorway section intersects with the existing road, to the existing overpass over the railway Belgrade-Mala Krsna. Further on the roadway, an overpass was also constructed, bridging the ring road, the motorway, the Rakovica Creek and the railway. The purpose of the overpass construction is to remove the unsafe at-grade railway crossing and to connect the settlement Jelezovac with the ring road. The overpass itself is on 8 segments, each with a span of 26 meters and total length of 208 meters. The main girder consists of prefabricated pre-stressed beams 1.4 meters high. The total of 38 beams was made in the manufacturing plant in Velika Plana and then transported and assembled on the construction site. It is deeply founded on piles 1,500 mm in diameter. It was a fortunate circumstance that during the construction of this overpass, the main railway line Jainci-Mala Krsna was being reconstructed at the same time, so the construction of 4 bridges crossing the railway was made easier. Behind the tunnel Beli Potok, an overpass bridging the motorway and connecting the ring road with the settlement and the railway station Beli Potok was built. The final constructed overpass on this section is a part of the local road number 2, which represents the connection between the ring road and the local road network in the interchange Bubanj Potok zone. The most significant structure built on the motorway is the bridge crossing the valley of the Miloš stream, slipping between the railway line Belgrade-Mala Krsna on the left and the ring road on the right, intersecting the regulated stream bed. The right bridge is 433.6 meters long, while the left bridge structure is 376.7 meters long. The structure has 15 segments, 25 meters each on the right bridge, and 13 segments, 25 meters each on the left bridge. The bridge consists of 2 independent structures connected by an expansion joint. In the zone of intersection with the railway line, a bridge structure was built over the railway, with a span of 15.5 meters, perpendicularly to the railway track axis, approximately 110 meters long. In that way, the railway track in the intersection zone is concealed in the structure that serves as a tunnel for the railway track. Longitudinal beams were made as pre-stressed, prefabricated elements of the same cross-sections, and there are 4 of them per segment, weighing approximately 37 tons apiece. The bridge was founded on piles 1,500 mm in diameter, averagely 8 meters deep, 17,300 meters cube of concrete, 2,370 tons of reinforcement and 154 tons of pre-stressing cables were installed in the bridge. Interchange Avala was constructed on Sector 6 section of the Belgrade bypass, connecting the Avala road immediately with the traffic ring around the capital via the ring road. The pear-shaped interchange provides a possibility of relatively small space occupancy in relation to the motorway width, with the great flexibility from the aspect of independent leveling of slip roads. The minimal applied radius of the horizontal curve on leg 1 is 50, and on leg 2 it is 60 meters. The designed widths of the slip roads are 6 meters. The connection with the ring road was made via the road with separated roadways, in accordance with the project. The supporting structures are 25 meters long each. Within the interchange Avala, 2 bridges were built on legs 1 and 2, crossing the main motorway route. The bridge on leg 1 is 78 meters long. It has 4 spans, while the bridge on leg 2, next to the motorway, crosses also the leg 1, so it is 96.8 meters long in total and has 5 spans. The location when the interchange Avala was constructed is the lowest point of this part of the bypass. The constructors were faced with 2 challenges in this location. The first one was the absence of sewerage in the settlements in the vicinity of the interchange. So the fecal waste had been discharged in this part of the Sector 6 roadway for decades. Public enterprise Roads of Serbia, as the investor, recognized that problem and, together with the Belgrade Waterworks and Sewerage, instructed the construction of a fecal collector in a length of 3.5 kilometers. The marshland, underground waters and soil stabilization were just some of the problems faced by the contractors. The construction of the collector has overcome that problem, and the decade-long trouble of the inhabitants from the surrounding settlements is resolved. The fecal collector extends from the tunnel Beli Potok to the existing fecal collector at the tunnel Straževica. Outlets have been left on the collector for the connections with the future secondary city sewerage lines. The other problem at the location of the interchange Avala was the process of expropriation and resettlement, since there was a settlement in the location where there are now overpasses. Over 60 structures found on the route were demolished, and the most important precondition for the execution was the reconstruction of the power line, which had interfered with the work execution. After the interchange Avala, one encounters the only tunnel on Sector 6, which is the tunnel Beli Potok, constructed using the open excavation method. That means that the soil material was excavated and the tunnel structure was constructed using the method of diaphragms, which are tunnel walls. Their elevation is the top of the tunnel. Cap beams were installed on those diaphragms, and then cross beams, previously made in Velika Plana factory and then transported to the construction site as ready-made elements, were lined up. For the tunnel Beli Potok, 818 prefabricated girts were made and installed, with the average rate of 22 to 24 beams installed daily. The tunnel consists of two parallel and connected tunnel tubes at the distance of 4 meters between the adjacent lanes. The length of one tunnel tube is 360 meters. Considering the tunnel route was intersecting with the existing Avala road and the ring road, these roads have been interrupted by constructing the tunnel Beli Potok. Formation of temporary connections has been carried out during the execution of works on the tunnel construction, so that the traffic on Avala road and the ring road could move without interruptions. After the completion of the tunnel construction, both roads were returned to their original state above the newly built tunnel. During the execution of open excavation works on the tunnel, a landslide occurred. It was established that the material at the tunnel location is prone to sliding, so the open excavation threatened to jeopardize the functioning of Avala road and the ring road. In order to ensure further progress on the tunnel's open excavation, retaining walls were made out of piles, securing safe work and progress of the diaphragm installation. For that purpose, 374 piles were installed, arranged into a zigzag pattern and connected by a main beam along the tunnel. The most up-to-date system were installed in the tunnel: a system of SOS telephones and interphones, a public announcement system, a system for monitoring the discharge of hazardous materials, a digital video system, a burglary detection system, a system for acquisition of meteorological data, an air quality and speed control system, then a fire and alarm detection system, a ventilation system with 4 fans in each tube, traffic and technical signaling equipment, a system for drainage and collecting hazardous matter from the roadway in case of an accident, a new hydrant network, etc. A new power plant was also constructed on the left side of the entrance portal, with a tank for 100 meters cube of water connected to the tunnel's hydrant network. A diesel-electric generator was installed in the power plant, automatically activated in the event of interrupted power supply from the Belgrade electricity distribution system. Systems for managing and monitoring traffic safety have also been installed on the Sector 6 roadway. Besides the 22 small variable message signs, 5 gantries with full matrix VMS were also installed, providing drivers with notifications and warnings when driving on this section. Cameras for recognizing license plate numbers, establishing countries where they were issued, recognizing transport of hazardous materials, etc. have also been installed. The Bubanj Potok intersection is one of 3 nodes on the Belgrade bypass and traffic-wise represents a junction of the motorways E70, E75, the existing motorway Belgrade-Niš, which takes over the connection of Belgrade with the European E-road system, as well as a node consisting of a part of the existing ring road and the existing interchange Bubanj Potok. Functionally speaking, it is a very complex structure which should secure a continuous flow for the Pan-European Corridor 10, separation of the motorway E70 for the route towards Pančevo from the Belgrade bypass, which represents a joint section for the motorways E70 and E75, the southern entrance to Belgrade, currently the busiest roadway on our road network, and a connection between the local traffic from the ring road to the motorway network, taking place via the interchange Bubanj Potok nowadays. The basic route of the motorway as a primary roadway enters the motorway Belgrade-Niš, from which the toll station Bubanj Potok, located in the interchange zone, had been previously removed. The main direction of the interchange represents a basic leg of Corridor 10, while the route Dobanovci-Pančevo and the route Belgrade-Niš as well form a great separated intersection with the main roadway. The interchange enables a connection between the existing ring road with all routes using two direct ramps and the secondary roads. All works on the construction of the interchange Bubanj Potok on the roadway and also on 10 bridges and overpasses with a total length of the bridge structures of more than 2 kilometers were carried out along with the traffic continuously moving on all the existing routes, including the ring road functioning as a transit road and the motorway Belgrade-Niš, where the traffic volume is constantly very high. That presented a big challenge, especially for the construction of the bridge spans crossing the motorway Belgrade-Niš. By building 14 temporary emergency opening, a deviation for the existing motorways, and using heavy scaffolding, with traffic regulation using more than 10 different regimes, traffic flow on the motorway Belgrade-Niš was secure at all times on 2 traffic lanes for each direction. Also, the construction work schedule for the bridge structures had to be adjusted to the temporary release to traffic of certain bridge structures after the construction and load-bearing tests, thus providing an opportunity for executing all the predicted works in the interchange Bubanj Potok zone. Interchange Bubanj Potok represents the most complex traffic node on the state road network in Serbia, since the annual average daily traffic on the interchange is approximately 60,000 vehicles. Although the bypass is now connected with Corridor 10 via the motorway at Bubanj Potok, in order to complete the traffic ring around the capital, the construction of the continuation of the bypass, the 31 km long so-called Sector C from Bubanj Potok and Vinča via the Danube to Pančevo will soon begin. Construction of a combined road and railway bridge over the Danube between the right bank of the settlement Vinča and the left bank of the settlement Starčevo has been predicted on this sector, as well as continuing the railway line Beli Potok-Pančevo, 29 km long. Construction of 2 tunnels, Bubanj Potok and Leštane, has been planned on this section, as well as a large road and railway bridge at Vinča.